Hi there, and welcome back. We are working on triangle again, and we are working on the menu. This is roughly how I want it to look, although this font and these buttons, everything is much nicer than I know how to easily get in Zig and DVUI, but we can have a look. This is how I want it to look, and this, let me just do a build and we can see how it does look right now. Escape. So at least we've got the two buttons. They're obviously different sizes. There's a whole bunch of shaping that we will need to do, but I wonder if we should start with, let's maybe put everything in first, and then we can think about theming it. So let's start with just adding the extra couple of buttons. There's the thing about contact. What will it do? I've been using tally, tally.so to build contact forms. I did one on my blog site. So you can see if you go into any one, there is a little feedback form at the end. I could put something straightforward like that and just send the player to that one onto their browser. But let's worry about the functionality a little bit later. Same thing for logging. There are a couple of things that we need to work out. Because there is the rotation of logs that we possibly need to work out. Because we don't really want logs taking up a whole bunch of disk space. So there are a couple of details to work out for both those buttons, but let's just display them. So let's start with, because it's pretty easy. For both of these other ones, we actually don't have anything to do. So I almost wonder whether we should even have an if statement. Let's just do, let's do if. I wonder if there is a function here for Zig that will, did we do all caps? I don't really like all caps. Let's do off. I've also thought about maybe making the off red and on green, but we'll worry about that later. Let me just put slightly better text. And here it was contact. This doesn't change. How do I have, does Zig support an empty, a no-op statement like pass? Let me just ask that as a question. While there's no direct equivalent, you can achieve a similar effect using double braces. Okay, that's a good idea. Okay, that'll do. So for both of those things, no ops. I just realized I didn't build it. Because I don't have it running in my little, let me just pull that over here. I'm not looking for Hugo. What am I looking for? Zig build test. Not just that, I also want, what was it? Prom Zig build prominent minus watch, and I also want full, so that it'll just keep building it in the background and I won't have to, right. So now let's try running it. Escape. There we go. So we've got logging, which is currently off, doesn't do anything. Contact doesn't do anything. So that's good. So the other thing that we want to display is config, just a bit of string at the bottom, and we want to display a version as well. Let's maybe do the version first, because that can just go right here. DVUI.label src dt comma, and then what are we doing here? Version colon. It's a string that we want to display. We need to think about how we are going to get the version for this one. Let's just for now, let's just use a fixed one, because I just realized I also need to figure out how are we going to do version management. How is it going to go up and down? Now let me also do dot font style equals dot heading, so that's a little bit bigger. It's just building. Yeah, because I use semantic versioning, so I could figure something out to update the version number based on semantic versioning, semantic commits, conventional commits, and then it could pop it into a file that we can read and display it. That's something that I'll just need to read up on to see. Version 010. Nice. Actually, that's pretty neat. Maybe what if this is just at the bottom like that? Let's try that. Let's do config. What did we? Yeah, we just called it config. And then for this one, we need something passed in here, which is the context ctx context const context equals at import. Where is, I'm just trying, I think it's game dot slash game slash, no, it's just at the root, right? Okay. And let me just, yep, that's good. And then I'm just trying to remember how, I don't think it has, let's check. Self.ctx.config. Let's just pick up the config object first. Const cfg equals, and then cfg dot. I think that's only got game path, isn't it? Is it game path? Game path. This is not what I am is it? Let's see. So this is the bit that we are looking for. Maybe config, allocator, roaming configuration. This is the path that we're looking for. So that becomes config, game path equals game. Oh, that. Okay, so that's the game config path, because that's used later. Oh, because that's what we save it to, right? Okay, let me also just put down the config path by itself. Config path const u8 root config directory eg. I mean, this eg is mostly it's only relevant for Linux because that's where I am, and I need to remember where it is. And game path config location full file path to game.conf where game related config is saved. So that's just a bit of documentation, so the next time it's a little bit easier for me to understand. Config path. Actually, this is all we need. Cf actually self.ctx.config.config path. Right. Oop. It doesn't like something. Config path. Right. So we need to wait. There are a couple of things we need to do. Config path needs to be set here. Let's do dot config path equals config, and wait, oops, let me just save that, which might make that error go away. But I also need to, I also need to set CTX when I create what is this, the menu. Right, I also need to do this part, which I learned from the doing this the Pong one. I need to change this to, because this is not a config parameter, so I need to convert this into an init, because I'm going to get a context as well. Pub fn init ctx context, and that will return a menu, and let's and that's just to return dot dot open equals false, dot quit equals false, dot ctx equals ctx equals dot init ctx. That should be it. Let me just see if that works. Build is just finishing. There we go. That did it. So what are we expecting here? In the menu, we are expecting to see, well, not these errors. Right. I think I know why this is happening. I know exactly why this is happening. I wasn't paying attention. So here, I'm clearing config, but, and then I'm assigning it here. So what I actually want to do is, let's actually take that out and pop it in here. It's actually self.config. Let's see if that fixes it. It's not config, it's config path. Yeah, we are clearing the full path there because we are not storing it, but we are now storing config. Okay, nice. Let's see. Perfect. So we are now seeing the config location as well. So let's just have a look. GIA src gid. Okay, good. Let me I'm just checking if I need to do anything else or if this is clean enough. Yeah, I think this is all good. Did I add them all? GC, what am I doing? Feet complete pause menu options. Okay, so what do we work on next? Let me just okay, so we've got all of that. Okay, let's theme it. Let's make it look a little bit nicer. Now, if I remember, DVUI has a has some additional stuff. Well, because what I ideally want to do is have some kind of like a flex box, flex container, where I can say pop all of these things with like equal distance between them vertically, align them on the down the middle. I could probably do a lot of these things with just box, but I think that I've seen some kind of a flexbox widget. I mean, the annoying thing about DVUI is that there is, well, you're just given the plain documentation. There is no description of what it actually does. You're supposed to just kind of figure it out, which is actually not too bad a lot of the times, but it does take a little bit longer. Let's just see here. So what we can do, what I've done more often than not, is hit the examples. And let's actually, it's possible you may not have seen this. Let me just run it. Let me just try again, because you can run it in the browser. Let me see. Test with Zig, in the home page, web demo, show demo window. Let's see. Now, we can check the calculator. That does put widgets in a row and column. We can see if it uses something there. Is there something else? I mean, there is a row here that might also be possibly useful to understand how it works. But I mean, it's showing something else. It's showing the corner radius. But we can use the corner radius actually to get the menu to look a little bit nicer like this instead of just the hard rectangles. But I feel like that's further down the road, make it nicer once I have a better sense of how I want it to look. Let's try the calculator. Examples. Are we in examples? No. Examples. Not that one. Let's see calculator. So it just uses dvui.box and then button widget. Yeah, I think this one just uses a grade of... It doesn't use it, I don't think. Also, I don't necessarily want it to flex. I'm going to give it a fixed size. That's a good point. Let's just check this one. See how those buttons are placed. DVU, okay, it's just placed like that. It's just box and then button. Got a H box which goes horizontally. Button and button. How does it look just now? Escape. Right. Let's just size them, and then let's size some of them and set some margins. Like the one bit that I always get confused is margins versus padding. What's the difference between margin and padding? Okay, let's go to Stack Overflow. Is that vertical margins? Not really specifically interested in that. Let me just do this. Is where they create space around an element outside the element's border. That's what I thought. Okay, so let's do a little bit of. Let me just remind myself how this looks. Let's just make it bigger. I wonder what will happen if I just give it a bigger size. And we want all of them to be the same size, which is how it looks here, how it looks here. So let's try and aim for that. Const size equals DVUI dot rect equals dot I don't right, I don't want to set the x. How? Because that would place them all in a particular place. I want them to flow down, but I want them to all have the same width and height. So what I can do is, let's just look up the button, and for the button we've got the init options. Oh, that's annoying. Let me just check the options, which is data rect. Specific placement within parent. Choosing its own place. That will still be expanded if expand is set. Example is, okay, maybe what we can do is expand for a start. Let's do expand both. Maybe that's a good starting point. Where would it go? Let's pop it in here. Dot expand dot both. Okay. And I think, which one? That was the second one, right? And we'll make this I might not like these commas. Wait, what's going on? Oh, right, I put that in the wrong one. That's fine. Expand both. Okay. And we actually need to tweak where the box goes. That one is quite important because 375 is too far. Let's maybe go 275, and we want it much lower. Let's go and the width is probably doesn't need to be 350. Oh, the width would be let's do 250 because we are offsetting it by 275, so 250 will be a little bit in. And what I also want is some margin and stuff, but we'll check that out in a second once we see how this looks. Oh, it's not fully built it yet. Okay, that's looking much closer to how we want. Let's just have another look. Okay, actually, you know what? That's not terrible. I do want to give it more margins though. The margins are too thin. So I almost feel like it's a bit, I mean, the label, maybe what if, can I give a font style here? Comma dot font style dot heading. I just want to see if I can do that there, if that makes the font look a bit nicer or bigger. Then I can just define one style for all of them and apply it across the board. Yeah, okay, sold. Let me, so I'll just do const style equals, actually const style DVUI dot options equals dot expand equals both and dot font comma, let's set the font style to heading, and I also want to set the margin. Now let me see what margin is. I think right, it's a rect, so margin is that, and then let's do dot x equals, I wonder, let's just set them all to 10. Dot y equals 10. Dot w equals 10. Dot h equals 10. and then let's set them in here. DT, oops, DT, oops, no, DF style. Yeah, almost DF style. That's just a bit tidier. DF style. And the last one, right. It's just building it. So if this works, then, well, we might have to tweak the margins still. I mean, there's a part of me that wonders if this should go into some other configuration file so we can tweak it a bit easier. You know what? That's good. I wondered if I should make it a little bit smaller. A little bit smaller in terms of, you know, I'll maybe draw this box so we can see the full size of it. And then I wonder if we should just shrink it just a touch. Let me just quit that. So how do I comment dot board, what was it? Oops. Dot border equals DVUI dot rect dot all. Let's give it a border of 2. Oops, it's not built it yet. Let me just build. Because that'll give us a better sense of its placement if we can see it. Right. Should it always be this far up from the top if the window is bigger? Let's actually try that. Let's try making the window bigger. Actually, if I do no, I was just wondering if Control Enter would full screen it. It does not. Yeah, well, I'm quite pleased with how that looks, to be honest. Even with the square is quite nice. I mean, one thing I am wondering is whether we should make it all black underneath. I know that some games just blur it. They put a blur layer and then they've got the menu on top, and we can do that later. And I'm also wondering what would happen if this was very long. Let's check that. So actually, let's first commit this. What did we do? Oh, we are theming it. So let's just let me just take a look at this again, because the reason I was looking at it, which I forgot to do, it's interesting that this one is a bit higher up, or maybe it just looks like that. What I was wondering was whether this needs to go a little bit further down, a little bit further up, left or right. No, maybe this is okay. Maybe a little to the left. No, I think this is good enough. Let me just, contact doesn't do anything, login doesn't do anything, resume does. And let's use the button. Quick, nice. Oh wait, let me just take the border off. Feet. Improve styling of pause menu. Right, so let's now check if what happens when this text gets really large. Something really large goes in here, maybe for Windows. I expect it to do some line wrapping, but actually it would be fine if it just goes to the left. Right, that is less good. It won't print the whole thing. And I can't copy that either. So maybe what I should do And the version number doesn't matter. It depends on what we're going to do about the version numbers. If we start doing build numbers instead of version numbers, then we might want to be able to copy that as well. But what we can do for the config for this one, particularly so that we can copy it, is maybe use a text box. Let's see, in here, let's maybe check, we have text box there, which is in basic widgets. In case you missed it, it's just basic widgets. Let's see if basic widgets. So let's look at text entry. So after checkbox, what does it say? Text entry, label, multi-line label, blah, 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 blah. Text entry, and then it uses a DVUI.text entry. I'm sure we could disable it. Oh, it just de-inits it straight away. Oh, because it doesn't use any of its values. Let's try that. Okay, so to be able to put both of them together, what we should do is we should have another box. So let's do var, what shall we call this box? Conf cfg box equals dvui.box. src, comma, and we want this to be horizontal. Horizontal, comma, let's not put in any, I don't think we need any, well actually let's do dot border. Wait, why is this not working? Oh right, it should be a lowercase b. Let's just double check that this is working. Oh yeah, horizontal, comma, dot border. I just want a small border to see how it looks. Dot all one. Let's close that, close that, close that, and then we also need to de-init it. cfg box dot de-init. Wait, I am thinking I'm in Go. When I name this one, this should really be cfg underscore. I was wondering why it was feeling a bit weird. It should be cfg underscore box. Okay, that's better. And then, because this is at the end, we don't really need to scope it. But you know what? Let's scope it. So that this one de-inits and does it correctly if we add something at the end. Otherwise, if we add something at the end, it will also go inside this box. So this one becomes just config. Oops. And we don't put anything inside it. We'll fix that in a second. And then we do the text entry var te equals dvui.text entry src. It was text entry, right? Text entry src, and then init ops we don't care about. Oh, that might be. Let's see if we can set it a default value. Text entry.init options. Yeah, I thought it might say that, but that's okay. It can probably tell us in here, init options, placeholder. Don't want a placeholder. How do we set the text inside? Draw filter set. Oh, get text. Is there a text set? Okay. Text. Okay. Selected bool. Okay, let's do it one step at a time. Let's not set. Oops. Comma dot. src. Right. Why is this looking a bit weird? Dot. Okay, te dot text set. And this one needs to be self.ctx.config path selected. Let's try true because I don't know what selected does, and I have a feeling it doesn't tell me here. We'll figure it out later. Unused argument in where is it? Okay. So, all right. What is it? Config.config path. And I think that was the other error I was getting. Let's see if that one builds okay. Oh, there's one more thing that we'll need to do. te.dinit. We'll let that build, but we can run it with the previous one. Interesting. It's interesting that the box itself hasn't expanded out to the whole thing. It's not growing, and there's a little bit of red there. Oh right, that could be because I didn't do the dinit. Okay, nice. So can I copy that? Oh, I can't copy it. Let's just, I mean, it's nice that it's selected. I mean, I can clearly click the buttons. That works, that works, that works. But I can't type in there. Interesting. I wonder if Raylib is somehow messing with it. I mean, what I really want is to be able to, I mean, yeah, it's just to be able to copy that. Control C, I'm hitting that. Let me just check from my other keyboard as well. Control C, Q, nope. That didn't copy it. Selection.select all. Wait, does it even, oh yeah, okay, text type. Let's try without it being set to true. I'm just thinking if we have an alternative option. Okay, that looks a bit nicer, but the selection aspect is just not really, it's just not working very well, and I can't type in there either. And this one, the theming of it is a bit off as well. I mean, it's not terrible, and I guess we've got the margin, but the height of this is not growing. Actually, that's because I haven't set. I know why. Because I need to set this one to style. That will make sure that it grows in both directions. Okay, that'll solve that one, but not the text entry issue. I might have to consider another widget or another option. There we go. Now, this one is correct. This one needs a little bit of an adjustment, but we'll get to that. Is there another widget? DVUI web backend, show demo window, basic widgets. It works here. Let me just copy that. Okay, yeah, copying that works too. but it doesn't work in Raylib. I wonder where I would even start debugging that. Is there a different option for it? Could we use something else? Text entry, single line, that doesn't have multi-line. Let's check again. I think that Raylib is not letting it do what it wants to do. Oh, I think I might know. There was something about the GUI lock that I needed to sort out. Which I didn't quite look at before. Because it is a simple lock-unlock system. Non-raygui Raylib apps could also implement such a system. I remember looking at this. I don't know if we have raygui. Let me just check. So that could be. Let me just check. rl dot raygui dot. What is it? GUI lock. Let's try this. I mean, we'll need to unlock it. Do we not have RL here? Okay. Const RL equals at import Raylib. Let's see if that does it. It doesn't like it. Root Raylib has no member raygui. Okay. Wonder why it gave me that though. Let me just check. Zig Raylib. You know, the one time I wanted to actually do this search, it doesn't do it. Raygui. Raygui ext. So it looks like it may be there, but how do I access it? Prelude build Zig. Okay. Do I? Sorry, I'm just. Oh, okay. So I think I need to include it. Possibly. Let me just look at it because I use Ray Math. Oops. Build.zig. No, math is already in there because I just include it. Oh, examples. Const raygui. Oh, that's an examples. Okay. Let me then look at examples, shapes. Where is the build? Oh. Raylib Zig. Right. Is this included as a C library? Let me just check the build Zig zone. Raygui. Yeah. Okay. Let me just see if it is included here somewhere. But this is confusing. Wait, hold on. Hold on. RG. Not target. Wait, you just said that it was in here. Okay, manually tweaked auto-generated binding list, thanks to all the so that's how we get Raylib in there. To build all examples, available examples, simply build examples, building and using template in an existing project. That's fine. Then add Raylib Zig as a dependency and import its modules and artifacts in your build.zig. Okay. Fine. Let's just try adding it in. Oops. Raygui. And then let's add it down here as a module. exe, is it exe lib? No, exe, wait. No, that's em scripting in here. Raylib, raygui. And then we can actually do rg GUI. Will that do it? Use of, all right, so then what I need to do is just change this to rg. Did I change that? No module named raygui available. Raylib dep dot module. Traditionally, I'm just trying to figure out why or how to get this build to work. Just to be able to do this lock unlock, and there was a time I looked at the code for that. That's not super complicated, so it may be that we can just use that instead. Raylib artifact, oh, it could be because my build file hasn't updated for that build. Let's just do okay, I just restarted that build, so let's see if that makes any difference. Root source raygui has no member. Okay, that's possibly interesting. Let's just see what it does have. Oh, it could be because it's GUI lock. Because it's Zig, it's probably renamed. Let me see if that works. Nope, it does not. So let's then check GUI lock. Yeah, it's there. It's there. Oh, it's just lock. Well, that's not helpful. Okay, let's try that. It's just building. Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? It's nearly an hour. Okay, now let's try. No, still doesn't do it, right? Maybe unlock. So there was something here. Note I'm using the if backend should block. Let's maybe enable this and see if that makes a difference. And this would be rg.lock rg.unlock. So maybe we don't lock it specifically. Let's just pop this in there and let's try that. So I was a bit confused by this bit of code when I first popped it in here. Let me just go back up here. And I didn't really understand it. So I tried to understand it, and then I gave up, and then I didn't need it, so I just ignored it. But maybe that's how it's supposed to do it. No, I mean it's. I feel like it's better to put it in there, but I can't select it. Maybe one more thing I can try is, what if I don't render? I mean, this is a different thing, but maybe what if I don't render it? What if I just do else? And we don't really need to worry about the render because nothing changes. But I wonder what would happen. Oh, it'll probably just make the screen go black. Ooh. Wait. Why is that flickering? That sort of doesn't make any... Everything is flickering, sorry. That just really doesn't make any sense. Alright, let me just disable that so we don't render the game at all. And then let's see if in the pause menu what happens. I wonder if we're just printing some other stuff down here. No. That is strange, isn't it? Why is it flickering? Menu.render. Because I mean, this render was resetting it, but I find it really interesting that that flicker happens, and that's what's breaking it. Is that what's breaking it? It could be what's breaking it. We'll try and kind of see if we can spot what's happening there. Okay, I find it really interesting. It's not flickering here, but it doesn't matter what I do there. That one definitely gets reset. It feels like something, it just gets rendered over it. And if I take that out, let me also just disable this, just in case that's messing it up. And this one is picking up all the events. That one is processing them first. Ooh, yeah, if that is an error, it would just get kicked out. No information available. Don't like that. Yeah. Oh, that doesn't go away either. Oh, because it's not rendering the other one. Why does that bounce? But it doesn't bounce when it's the height of it that seems to change. And is it the height? And it's only of those two. Is there something at the top? Actually, let's try removing these and have just the last one with nothing else. Wait, all right, the build wasn't complete. Let me try again. Okay, config is there, that's there. No, it still doesn't like it. Let me render the game. I mean, none of these rg.lock, rg.unlock. Let's try enabling that as well. If backend should block Raylib input, we'll look up the documentation for that next. See if that helps us in any way. Yeah, I can't even move around with the arrow keys in there. Ooh, I can type something. Okay, fine. So maybe that's because I am not saving. Okay, I'm maybe just not using the text box correctly. Right. Okay. You know what? Maybe I should take a break and come back to this one next time around. I'll just have a quick look. It's okay. Yeah. So what I wanted to check is how to change, how to use the text box. Let me just see. Text, wasn't it text box? Let me just put all that stuff back. That one should be there. Don't know why that was flickering. That might be something for us to take a look at later. But let me just text entry. Wait. Text entry. I mean, that's all we're doing here. That's not very helpful. So let's maybe check the one with all the text boxes. This one. Is it menus? No. Where is it? Text entry, debugging, dialogues, toast, layout, text layout. Don't care about any of those. Scroll canvas, scrolling, starting text entry. Text entry. I mean, wait, let's just check if it was working. Not there. Basic widgets. Yeah, it was working here, wasn't it? Let's check. Text entry, enter pressed equals te.enter pressed. And it just deinits. Buffer equals, okay. I think that's what I need to do. Let's try that. Oh, and we want to make it read. Well, let's worry about that later. Let's, instead of text set dot, is it not there? Maybe it's in the other one. Dot. No. Text entry. Oh, dot text. Okay. Dot text. Dot text equals dot buffer equals ampersand equals ampersand self dot ctx dot config path. Does it have an error? Right. Expected type array u8 found const u8. Right. Right. Oh, that's annoying. I can change that, but I'm just thinking about what the best way of figuring this out is. Let's just set up a variable in here, but then it would get reset every time. If I just have a local variable in here and then I put its value in there, then it will just get reset every time. So let me then do string u8 Actually, let's just give it a size. Let's make it 1024 for the sake of argument. And then dot string equals, and let's just give it some string in there. And then we can do self dot string. Will that work? I just want to see if I can print something. Found right. So how do I, this one I don't know. Convert static string to U8 Zig. How to pass C string. I just want to how to set, okay, this is the one. Really, I don't want it for that. Solving common, okay, I don't want to watch a video. Maybe we can try that. Our data equals, what I really want is to use, what I probably have to do is to use a memory management function. How do I, actually let me just, I can just share this bit of code. How do I set a static string value to the string field? Yes, I know that part. You need to copy the bytes in. Yeah, that's what I figured. Right, okay. That's kind of what I figured. U8, and I want to copy it to wait, hold on. But how is this getting set to string? You're just returning M? What is M? Oh, right, M equals menu. Oh, right, M dot string, right, fine. Okay, I see it now. M dot string. Okay. So what I can do is, instead of doing it that way around, I can just set the string first. I think. Let's try that. Control C. String. Const. No. Var string. Not undefined. U8 equals undefined. And then we'll set that to string. And then we'll do MSG const. Actually, maybe what if I just wanted to have an empty string? Actually, that's fine. I can just do U8 can I do, oh, no, I can't do that. Oh, not too far. Oh, no, what I can do is, let's just do space and then star 1024. Something like that could work. I'm just putting 1024 spaces into that character. And then what I can do, oh yeah, okay, that works. Okay. Okay, that's better. Okay, now I can select it as well. Okay, that's okay, so that works. So what I need to do, and this is getting to be a very long video, is I want to copy the actually, how can I actually, yeah, I don't want it to be editable, so, but I guess I still need to pass in something that's editable. Okay, how can I think it's going to be the same thing. And I think that there are a couple of other things I will need to check. That's fine. We'll make it read-only later. Let's start again. Let me, okay, so we do need a string. So we'll call this config path. And we don't need to set a fixed size. And what we can also do is we can copy it over. How do I copy a string? Zig copy string. I just want to check that it is a const. It is const. I mean, that's what Zig is telling me, right? So yeah, it's a const, and with good reason. Here I just want it to be a string for just so that we can use it in that particular text field, which is not going to edit it, but it needs to be editable. So let me just, how can I create a non-const u8 from a const u8. I'm guessing that yes. So yeah, stdmem.copy. So that's actually all I need to do. It's a bit annoying that it won't just return me a mutable. Then I could have just done it in a one-liner. Var config path equals stdmem. So no, right. So this becomes var config path u8 equals undefined, and then what we do is df equals, then this becomes config path, and this is ctx.config path, and ooh, why do you not like that? Oh yeah, okay, it's never mutated. You're right, it is never mutated. Oops. Const, and then we do dot config path equals config path, and then here we'll set that to self dot config path. It doesn't like it. Found star u8 dot star. Oh no, wait. What am I doing? Okay, that's what we want. Struct mem has no member named copy. Std mem zig std mem copy. Right, okay, mem cpy, fine. So let me just see if if they can give me an example, please. Okay, zig at mem cpy. I forgot what it was. Come on, give me some help. Mem cpy. Copy the items we previously added. Okay, so at mem cpy does that do it? Config path, use of undefined value here causes undefined variable. Oh, I think it needs to be the other way around, comma config path. Why do you not like that? Cannot mem cpy. Okay. Create a new slice that's twice as large. Oh, it is the other way around. Okay, let's just check here. can we use @memcpy instead, please? Buffer mutable.ptr comma input.ptr constitute buffer. Wow, that seems unnecessarily complicated. Zig copy const string to new string. Is that new enough? Slice instead of arrays, slice, array list alternative. Right, this is what I want. mem.allocator.do. I think I've used it before. Well, that's handy. Allocator.dupe or allocator.dupec. Come on, allocator.dupe. Okay, so allocator, right. Okay, nice. So let's try that. Do we have an allocator in here? No, we'll pass in an allocator. std.mem.allocator, comma, and then we'll do, what will we do? Const config path equals allocator.dupe u8. Wait, I think it's just u8 and then dt ctx.config.config path. Oops. If that works, that'd be pretty neat. Okay, that one I think works, but what we can do is we can do one better. We don't need that extra line, we can just do it inline. And then what we need to do is we just need to remember to pass in the allocator that it needs. So let's do that here. Allocator. Right, I need that to be a oops, comma. Let's see, what other errors? Oops, it does. Oh, right, this one is going to now potentially throw an error. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to say. Error, yeah. Try, and let's make this also able to return an error, and that means that this one also needs to be a try. And I think that might be it. So we need to make it non-editable, otherwise we'll have buffer overflows potential. Yeah, okay, nice. Now the question is, can I copy this? Delete it. Okay, perfect. Copying works. Okay, let me, okay. Oh yeah, memory leak, thank you. Because I don't dinit this, pub fnd init, allocate, first we need self, and we are a menu, comma, allocator, std.mem.allocator, and then we don't return anything, and all we need to do is allocator.free self.config path. And we also need to then do defer menu.dinit That's it. So I'm just waiting for it to build, and then we can run it, test it, commit it, and be done. At least for this this session. Oh, okay, that's messed with the formatting a bit, but I think I know how to fix that. Let me just see very quickly if I can fix that, because what I need to do here is gravity y equals 0.5, because I want it to be vertically center, and gravity y of 0.5 should vertically center it. But let's see. Nice. Okay. As usual, it took a little longer than I would have liked, but let's get this in. GWD. Right. I could have separated out the raygui parts and all of that into separate ones. Should I? Should I separate it into two different commits? Yeah, let's maybe do that. Sorry, not that. GWS, GIA builds, because it just is in the build.zig. So let me just check that out. Okay, GC build add in raygui. Ooh, I've got to wonder whether we need it. Let's do it, because the sample code that I used to bring in DVUI was using the lock unlock bit anyway. And then what did we do here? We made the config parameter. We made the config parameter selectable and copyable. Minus a I feed make the config dir param. It's really the copyable. Oops. So that they can then copy that, go into their file browser directory, whatever, and just go straight there to be able to edit the files. So good. Wait, let me got a bit distracted. I never really paid attention to how the menu looks now. Yep, okay, that's looking good. We will, next time around, we will make this read only, because that's going to be important. Otherwise, I bet you if I made this, oh, I just can't add anymore. That's type safe, that's nice. Oh, I guess that's one of the reasons to love Zig. We obviously don't want the user to be able to type in there, so we'll make that read only. We'll figure out how to make that read only. We'll do that. And actually, is there anything else for the menu to be done? Well, we can plug in contact, because we want to do that, and we'll think about logging as well. So yeah, we've got a little bit more to go before the menu is completed. Okay, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. And I will see you in the next one.